Okay, I also started the recording. Hi, Kelly. Michelle is frozen again. Okay, sorry about that. Can you hear me? Okay, I think Michelle has a technical glitch, and we will wait for her to return. Hopefully, her internet will cooperate next time. She was just about to start her presentation, and this was her Google link on the chat window. All right, Kelly, would you like to pick up the time? Are you ready?
Yeah, you want me to start now?
Yes, please.
Sorry, I kind of like lost my voice, so if it goes in and out, allergies are pretty bad out there. It's gonna go. Okay, so let me share my screen with you first. Can you see my screen?
Yep.
Okay, so I created a Weebly presentation for my final portfolio. Like when I spoke to you before, you said a lot of people were having trouble with it, but I thought it was pretty straightforward. It was nice to have all different tabs. My experience and my skills so far. This is my third year as a math teacher, and then as of right now, I'm going to be certified in technology. The tech coach actually came to me at school today, and he wants me to create some sort of program to get our middle school teachers to start using Google Docs with their students, but not just Google Docs, the fact that the kids have to know how to insert their own equations for when they start doing online testing. So I'm going to sit with him and create a presentation, hopefully an interactive presentation for the middle school teachers to work with students on. Then basically I say I feel like students nowadays are becoming more and more familiar with having technology right at their fingertips all the time. So I think we as teachers need to start incorporating it more and more into our classrooms in order to keep our children engaged while we're teaching. And it's just something that they're so useful. I think that if we incorporate what they're familiar with, they're going to be more willing to cooperate in class, and they're going to be more engaged with your lesson. That we have visionary leadership, I wrote down all the standards, and then I listed my artifact and a rationale. I don't think you need me to go through all of them, right? Hello?
No.
No? Okay. I can't see you guys when my screen's not.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, so I just went through all of them. And then the last thing that I kind of put there was this was one of the most important things done so far for this class. I really like to implement this program called iExcel for our students. It's an online program with problems basically broken down by standards for the kids to choose from that'll match up to what you're teaching in class. So even if you don't assign Excel to them, they can go home and they can do it on their own for extra practice. And it kind of just keeps linking through all different questions and looping through until the students have reached whatever grade you've asked them to reach. I got the bottom here, quantitative data. I don't like their quiz grades. I gave them one quiz that was on factoring, and then I noticed that a lot of the kids scored below a 70 to a 79. So I gave them an iExcel assignment, and we did it over the course of about a week. They had 2 or 3 different standards they needed to complete, And then once they were done, then I gave them a different quiz, and you can see the difference in quiz grades from the first time to the second one. And even some of my students that are normally like, oh, I don't feel like doing this, I don't want to do this, they were all engaged with these lessons. So that was cool to see. And then as for the class in particular, and I have to say my favorite one was when I was actually the coach for my colleagues. And once they found out that I actually really knew what I was talking about, they keep coming to me like on a daily basis now. Oh, can you help me with this? Can you help me with that? So I think it was a big eye-opener to myself that I am actually useful to my colleagues, but it was also an eye-opener to them that they can come to me when they need help. So that was pretty cool, because I gave a presentation one day on how to use Google Forms in a math classroom, because a lot of the math teachers are they're nervous and unwilling to change. So we're trying to take baby steps and convert them to using Google Docs and into using Google Classroom. So the first day we just went through the how-tos, and then I made them create their own Google Docs. And then the last day we all came back together and they were able to share their Google Docs with each other so that we can test them out before they shared them with their students. So I would have to say the experience was great. And then my other experience was because normally when we think about this, I feel like all the classes we've taken, it's geared toward math, science, and English and social studies. But I was able to work with our home and careers teacher, and we created an online binder for students so that instead of all the time having to print out hard copies, the kids can just look up all the recipes online. And when they're in class anymore, if they want to go back and get any of these recipes, they have access to them online. Even when they graduate, they can still go back. Overall, it's a great experience. I've learned, I think I've showed my peers, and I hope I can continue to help them in the future. Is there any questions? So that was a lot all at one time.
Thank you very much. Again, when I said people are struggling with Weebly, it was at the beginning, because since the last week and a half, the only thing I hear, I love Weebly. So, and most people are transferring their work on Weebly. So I think it's becoming a very popular platform.
Yeah, at first I thought it was like a little confusing, but then once I got the hang of it, I'm like, this is awesome. It's already set up for me, and I can just edit wherever I want to change all the tabs. It's not like you have to add in your own tabs. It's created for you, so it was cool.
It's a cool tool for you to also introduce others, so that's wonderful. Thank you so much. And thank you for all your reflections, right? It's all nicely listed. I was just trying to get into another screen to see if I can find anything that you're missing this semester, but it seems like you're almost done with this presentation, right?
Yeah, I think it was just this. Everything else has been graded.
Okay, good. Any other conflict or any problem, you will let me know, but your total is good to go for good grading for this class.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure working with you as well. Thank you for all your support and for your understanding throughout the course.
Oh, thank you for being one of the exemplary students in the class. Are you coming to the graduation by chance?
No, I'm going on my class field trip that day. I'm a sophomore class advisor, so the trip is the same day.
I think you told me that before. Sorry.
No, that's okay.
I will be missing you guys, but I hope you'll come to my Bear Mountain geocaching event this summer.
Yeah, I saw that. That's actually not too far, so I just have to look at the date and see when it actually was.
Yeah, before we choose the date, please go to Doodle and you choose your preferred date and time, so we may be able to get together. If not there, if you're near to Middletown, I actually was talking to the Middletown Center coordinator, and she said maybe we'll do something in Middletown location, teacher center location. So if you're close there, maybe that's an option. So we don't have to do one event. We can do several events to gather several types of groups around the area. So please stay in touch. If you want to get together, I'm up for it.
Thank you.
Now you're my official colleagues. You don't have to call me professor or doctor. I am your colleague. So
That's awesome. It's a good feeling.
it's a wonderful feeling. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, Michelle and Brittany, if you had a chance to give feedback or comments, questions for Kelly.
I think
Sorry,
it's
Kelly. I logged on really late.
I think it's just really cool how, when you're in your own district, you're kind of in your own bubble, so you really don't know what's going on in other places. So the fact that she's mentioning iExcel with, middle school and high school level kids, when I use it with my third graders, it's just kind of cool to see how it carries out and how technology people all kind of think the same, because we're a big Google, we use Google for everything as well. So I think it's just cool to see how, she came from Middletown. I know we've had classes before and we've talked about all the stuff we use. Now that she's in Goshen, it's kind of all carrying over to the same thing. So it's just interesting to see how much it connects in different places.
Yeah, and we're fighting to keep like the subscriptions for the kids, because the school is saying, oh, we don't have the money. So me and the other technology coach are trying to like prove to them, like, look, it really works. But that case study I gave to the principals and the superintendent, and they're all like, so I'm like, come on, keep it. I promise it's good.
And in Middletown, they're kind of like, here, you're using this, go for it.
You know, it's crazy. We're like fighting for it. I'm like, I promise, it's worth your while. Well, good luck with everything. If I don't see you.
Thanks, you too.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Michelle, you ready?
Yeah, I don't know what happened. I'm so sorry.
Not a problem.
I have a brand new Chromebook. It all of a sudden froze up on me, so I was freaking out that. I was like, I don't know what's going on. I think it was I had too many tabs going, and my design document is PowerPoint because she has us created on PowerPoint, and I think it just kind of took over my whole computer. So unfortunately, I can't show you that because that's what I think was doing it. But that was probably my biggest struggle. I had to use a different computer to do that because I had to use PowerPoint. And it's funny, I don't know if everybody else had the problem. I use a Chromebook now. I use everything on Google. Everything's Google. My computer crashed like 3 years ago, and since then I put everything on Google so that I can pick it up anywhere. So to try to do PowerPoint, as much as I found really cool things, and I made a PowerPoint of a life cycle of a frog, and my kids had to go through it and they loved it. I had to borrow my sister's computer so that I could use PowerPoint. So that was, I think, one of my biggest struggles. And I actually did that this semester. So I love doing it, but it was it wasn't like transitioning to a different world that we're living in. So unfortunately, I can't show you that, but I absolutely loved it because my kids had the biggest smiles on their face. The hardest part, though, they could not use a mouse. They were all trying to touch the screen the whole time. And they're only 4, so they grew up with their mom's iPad or their iPhone sitting right in front of them, so they were touching the screen. But once I kind of got them figuring it out, I think they may be ready for the NWEAs next year. We'll see. So, but what I did want to point out was, now let's hope your screen works. Okay. Share. Hopefully. I think Can you guys see my screen and hear me? Okay.
Yep, I can see your screen.
Perfect. Okay, good. So one thing I wanted to point out was for my case study, I did vocabulary. And for vocabulary, I have two different kids that I tutor. I tutor a fifth grader. I tutor two fifth graders, but one is a fifth grader who is on a third grade reading level, but loves to learn. And another one is a fifth grader who is on a reading level, but just doesn't find the need for school. So I know we've all probably had kids like that in our class. And what did vocabulary for science and social studies. And our district really loves vocabulary for the fact that it allows you to watch videos, and it comes up with fun songs and stuff for the kids to memorize things. So I actually brought into both my students, one at one time, one at the other time. The one that had struggling reading, it actually helped him to remember, those silly key phrases. We all make those silly key phrases for kids to remember. So it was cool for him to remember that. And the one that kind of doesn't find a need for school and doesn't see what the point is, it helped him because then he kind of realized that school could be fun in a certain way. So I wanted to point that out. If anybody needs it, it's vocabulary. You can do a free trial. My district pays for it. I don't know if other districts have paid for it. Maybe you don't even know it's paid for. I didn't know for a while, so that was cool to find out after. So I explained that, both the grades went up, but I used two total different kids. I used one kid that, had a lower reading level, and I used another kid that had the reading level, just didn't have the energy to put forward. So the next thing I wanted to show was my symbol. And I actually, I come from a district that is just moving into technology world. It's not a district that, technology was its priority. A few years ago, we laid off a lot of teachers, and technology is probably the lowest on the totem pole to be used for money. So a lot of things, it was nice to hear other people tell me about technology and different things to use and go through this program and see things that, we're just now starting to use in our classroom. So I saw Symbaloo, and I thought this was more for my colleagues in the sense that they can then use this. I can create one, like I've created one for one, and I can send this out. And then they can navigate it the way they want to navigate. They don't have to completely use it in there. They can go through what they need. But it's a way of showing technology with using technology. So that's what I thought was cool about this. This project that we did, back into our artifacts, allowed me to go back and relive 5 years because of how long it took me to go through my master's and get everything done. So it was fun to go back and see things that I'm like, oh, remember, like you kind of use it for one class and then maybe you won't use it for another class or things like that. But Symbaloo, I've used a couple times. I sent this out to a few of my colleagues to see things that they might not need, they might need like artifacts and how-to videos that I've made on screencasts and things like that. So, and then one other thing I want to point out was we talk a lot about, social networking and lifelong learner, and as a technology person, you never sound like a learner for the fact that technology is always going to come out better. We all remember flip phones. Now we're on iPhones, and a little computer, like it's huge on the side of us. Things change so much in all these years, and we want to be technology coaches. We need to stay up with that. So I actually created for one of my classes, technology and education. I grew up with a whole family of teachers, and it's fun because we all live all over, and I have friends that are teachers, friends that teach in Virginia, and friends that teach all over. So I formed this close Facebook group with my friends, and I put so we now want to step out of our box and completely go into, a whole bunch of groups that we don't know people. But this was me forming my own group, and I have 52 members, and, and things like that. And I got to talk to people I was comfortable with talking to, which also broke me out of my shell to ask questions that maybe I wouldn't have asked if I was in a bigger group. So this is a good way to stay connected and not really think that you're only doing, I only have to talk to people that I'm just shoved in a room with. Instead, I went onto Facebook and realized, I have so many connections that way. How can I post questions and things like that? So this was a cool way. And the last thing that I wanted to show, I created, and like I said, going back and 5 years ago and seeing what I've created and things like that, I thought this was really cool to show as my end to my presentation. So I'm going to show this. So in the end, technology is a great thing, but I teach preschool, and a lot of people would say that, you don't have to start young to tell them about things like that, but in the end you do, and you need to refresh them every year because you never know what they might come about, what they might think that, oh, okay, well, if I was told this year, maybe it's okay this year. So I start young with my kids. I tell them, just like talking to them, whatever you say that comes out of your mouth, you can't take that. Whatever you post online, you can't take back. So I thought that that was a cool way to end it, for the fact that I do teach such a young age, and it should start at a young age and move all the way up, because they're going to be in a technology world and it's never going away. So thanks.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you so
Thank
much.
I'm glad everything went through that time.
Yes, wonderful. And in the video, you said something like, do you want jobs? I'm sure 40-year-olds are not thinking about that, or they cannot read that, but I think that's the reality, right? And now, anytime you're looking for a job, someone else might be looking for your digital profile, right?
It's so true. I don't think you look at even like I some people that are coming out of college at, like, when you got on Facebook and you're like, why are you posting that? Like, you don't need to say they're posting, holding a beer and, enjoying life. That, we know you're probably doing it, but like, and then they don't realize. And so that's why we start now and just move it up. And it's just like saying, don't say that because, you don't want to hurt your friend's feelings. That's the start of, then now you can bring in technology. So when I thought, when I was going through my stuff, my digital footprint, I didn't realize how much, like, I realized that it's important to talk to them. So that's why I wanted to show it.
Perfect. The other thing I have a comment about is that you lost all your stuff, I guess, 3 years ago, and then you moved to a Google platform. But now with this digital cyber hacking, right, we may be losing all our stuff. It's on the cyberspace. So you don't know. We can't beat the system. It needs
I know.
multiple locations. And I remember my professor was telling me the best place to save your data is to put it in the freezer. I said, what is she talking about? You know, so who's gonna freeze their stuff? I think when there's some kind of an explosion, I think the refrigerator is still the safest place to keep your stuff. Interesting, but I hope we don't come to that level.
Oh, I hope not. I can't afford to lose all my stuff again. It's so funny how, you know, you don't realize how much you have until your computer doesn't log back on and you're like seeing that blank, that desk screen. So, but I realized how important Google is.
And congratulations. I just checked your numbers. It seems like you completed all your requirements of this course successfully.
Perfect. Thank you. You have no idea how great that feels.
So I hope I'll see you in one of those gatherings we will have, or anytime you want to stop by.
Perfect.
Visit us in Long Island.
Thank you. I've learned so much. You know, in the beginning I was nervous because we had to go back through all our stuff, but I really enjoyed going back through all my stuff in the end. So thank you.
That was the idea. Celebrating, right? I told you we don't create new things in this class, just to look back and celebrate.
It's a big deal to look back. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right. Any comments, suggestions, feedback for Michelle?
I just wanted to say I think the Facebook thing was a fabulous idea. Everybody uses it for so much social media, and some of our students are using it inappropriately, but I think it's great that you've created something that you can even show your students, like there's more to Facebook than just hanging out, chatting with your friends. And even like, I think we might have seen in one class, they talk about fake book instead of actual Facebook. So I thought that was a great idea. Nice job.
Yeah, you know, thanks. You realize you have all these connections that are like closer than you think. So when they said come up with something, I'm like, you know what? I have so many people, like you go to your undergrad, so you have all those friends that you went to undergrad that are now like all over the country, how you can tie them in. And it was fun to see how, like, you know, I was talking about our district at that time, we really didn't have that much technology. And everybody else was like, well, we do this and this. And I'm like, that's pretty cool. So yeah, it was definitely, you know, something different than using Facebook just to see, you know, who posted what they ate that day.
Wow. You even taught me something by saying fake book. I just checked, and that's ClassTools.net fake book. Wow.
Yep.
You guys open your mouth, you teach me something. And I see Patrick. Hi.
Hello, Professor. How are you?
Very good to see you.
Good to see you as well.
I don't think you're presenting today, right?
I thought I was presenting at 6:30, but I could be wrong.
Let me double check. Somewhere here. I think I opened up something else in front of it. All right. It says 17, I think, for you. Tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
Tomorrow, 6:30. Yeah. Right now, today we should say Shafak. Shafak, are you there?
I'm here. I don't know why my camera is not working. I even tried like shutting Zoom down and reopening it, but it doesn't seem to be, I don't think you can see me.
Yeah, that happened to me yesterday. I know the cure. Cure is you shut down everything on your computer and restart.
Oh no. Okay.
If you want to do that, we're still, you know, looking at Michelle's work. So.
Okay, I'll do that real quick right now.
Okay.
Okay.
Patrick, if you want to present, you have the floor. We can squeeze you in.
Oh, okay. Exactly how does the presentation format go? What am I presenting everything? Or?
So what you do is that you either put a link up or bring your portfolio from TaskStream. You can screen share. Zoom, right at the bottom in the middle, there's a green button. It says share screen.
Yep.
So the minute you say share screen, it sees everything on your desktop. So whatever you want to share, you bring it up, and then we will hear you talk about it.
Do you want me to go through each of the artifacts or pick out a few, or?
It's up to you. You only have 10 minutes.
Okay. Um,
The pressure
Right.
is the making everything short. Again, you don't have to talk about everything. You can just pick one thing that you failed, but later on you know learned so much from. It could be something from your practicum experience that you would like to share with us, that because this session is being recorded, so the students next cohort will use your ideas. Or you can have, as you know, game you created or case study that you accomplished, anything that you would like to share. The floor is yours.
all right. So yeah, I'll share something that we worked on. So I work with two other technology coaches in our district, and we're implementing a personalized learning initiative throughout the entire district. And we struggled with getting teachers to understand certain elements of it and getting them to be able to experience it in our professional development sessions. So I'm going to try to share my screen. I've never done this, and then I'll kind of explain the artifact that I'm talking about. So, okay. Can you guys see my screen now? The portfolio?
Not yet. Try
I
again.
have no idea what you guys can see, but
No, we can't see it.
okay. Now let's see.
Now we can. Flip learning teacher play.
Yeah. Um, I'm trying to make and get the experience of the student so they can kind of understand how that's going to do fits into their instructional model. The aspects of personalized learning that we really emphasize is student voice. So there's this time in elementary school, we brought in some models, which have been for so this is just something for top of me. Document it allows pinch what they want to focus on. So usually it's on their leads, it's on things more interesting. So the specific copy of this and then go through this. Just ask them
Patrick, can you hear me? Your bandwidth is not good enough. Can you hear me? Um, your sound is coming very choppy. I wonder if you can close some of your background. There are too many windows open, maybe that's why. Except Zoom, yeah. Wait, try again. Thank you for trying. So how about now? Can you try?
Yeah.
Okay. It's still a bit choppy. Yeah, stop sharing because it started creating problems when it was sharing. Can you
Okay.
try now?
So do you want me to I can send that
Yes.
in chat?
Yeah, just send it on the chat so I can open up on mine because you become very choppy. Your sentences were not clear. Can you just copy and paste the link to the chat,
Yep.
please?
So that should be the link.
Thank you. All right, now you can continue, please. I apologize for interrupting.
Okay. So up at the top, you see the table of contents, and essentially what we wanted teachers to be able to do was to pick and choose what they wanted to focus on, whether it was due to weakness or interest or whatever. And this is the real game changer for us in terms of the professional development, was the ability to model this for teachers, because they didn't really understand how it worked in the classroom. The idea of a playlist or a workboard or a learning menu, whatever you want to call it. Then choose, let's say they struggle with the implementation of the classroom management piece. They click on that. It'll bring them to the bookmark. And there's a couple of resources and activities for them to complete. That'll give them a better understanding of culture management, the classroom management piece. Now, obviously, we have to do all of these within a topic of need. We had maybe like an hour and a half or so. So they'd be able to pick and choose maybe 3 or 4, but they'd always have this available to them. The same way in a classroom, you can provide students with a choice of assignments that they can work through, some of which might be mandatory, some of which might be optional, but just that idea of choice. And for us, in trying to get teachers on board and to increase the fidelity of getting this stuff done in the classroom, this is a real sort of game changer that helps us out. So just kind of go through it. It's basically a format for categories. You have resources and then things that they have to do, whether it's post to Google+, fill out a Google form, drop something in a Google folder. But all of it's designed to, one, give them sort of fill their gaps in terms of what they need and what they need to be more effective at personalized learning. And the other thing is just to kind of spark their interest in some things that they might not have been exposed to in some of the original trainings. So, does that make sense?
It makes sense. It's very interesting the way that, everything is organized and all these tabs. That's wonderfully done.
Yeah, and we're a one-to-one district, so we move, just about everything is done digitally. Or at least the administration pushes for most things to be done digitally. So being able to give teachers, because definitely in elementary schools, they're used to having a workboard and having students kind of understand what they're doing. But it was hard for them to understand how that could look in a digital world. So this was kind of the first real thing that we could put in front of them that was concrete, that could show them exactly what we were talking about. They could experience it as a student and then sort of customize that idea to their way of teaching and their students' way of learning.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing. And it's also one link to get everything, right? For teachers that you're sharing this information. It's really simple, but very powerful.
Yeah.
And did you create a portfolio for this class that was also
Yep.
something like this?
Do you want me to share that as well?
Just send us a link. Yep.
Yep.
I think we lost some people who were. Oh, Shafak is back. Good. All right. Perfect. So at least you have an audience. So yes, please send us a link. Shafak, Patrick just came right on time. Although he was scheduled for tomorrow, he used your 6:30 spot, but don't worry, you'll have time after. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you. So the second link is digital portfolio. I just do work with Google Docs quite a bit. To me, the way I organize it is digital. It's not on a website uploaded. Like I have my own class website, and I thought about uploading it to that. But in terms of turning it in, it might have been a little bit confusing because I do have password protection because it's student work and things like that.
Yep.
So ultimately, these are things that I would put up on my website. but it's a mixture of things that I've done throughout my IT experience, mixed with stuff that I do on a daily basis in terms of our trainings and workshops throughout the district. So, I mean, I go through some more things if we have time.
Excuse me. You put here that you presented at Washington, D.C. So that's congratulations. That's wonderful.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, we're a race to the top district who has been implementing blended learning for 4 years now, and flipped learning as a part of the personalized learning initiative for about 2 years. So we were invited down for the teacher quality program, the 3 other technology coaches, the 2 other technology coaches and myself. And it was basically a conference for superintendents and administrators to get ideas about how to implement different things. So we just presented essentially our experience in implementing blended learning in the K-6 and then flipped learning in 7-12. So it was a very good experience. We also got to see a lot of the other districts from around the country, what they're doing, how they implement things. And it's definitely a varied approach. We didn't find any schools that kind of did it exactly the same, but we were able to share ideas and best practices and things like that. So it was a very good experience.
Beautiful, beautiful. Encourage you to continue to share those experiences around New York and around the world. So that's wonderful. Keep up.
Yeah, I've been lucky to go to several conferences outside of New York, and it's amazing what you can learn and see how just different parts of the state, different parts of the country do things and approach things, and it's pretty crazy.
Are you coming for graduation?
I still actually have one more course to take over the summer, just because of the way my schedule worked out. I couldn't fit it in, so I'll be graduating, I guess, in August.
I see. You could have still get to the graduation with your cohort, and then get your diploma at the end of summer.
Yeah, I asked Kristen Schaefer in the department office how that worked, and she basically said that I would receive information about graduation for August, in May or June. I just kind of left it at that. But
I see. So you didn't push it hard enough.
No.
Okay. Hope to see you then, and when your graduation time comes in, and I hope you'll join us. And I'm also, I don't know if you're aware, posted Doodle information about Bear Mountain geocaching event. I hope you and your family will join.
I saw the message. Is that a set date, or was that decided?
No, those dates are what I am available. So which date has the most suggested slot?
Okay, yeah, because we're not far from Bear Mountain. I hike there all the time, so it's.
Really?
Yeah.
Have you ever done geocaching?
My friend was really big into geocaching. I've never done it. It's something I think would be cool. I just, yeah.
Yeah, it's beyond cool because I've done it with 3 years in a row for a school district in New Jersey before I came to New York. And we took the students to various parks. It was an amazing experience because we integrated other things. I called it Math and Media Project. So we did a lot of geo-related games, and they learned how to read a GPS device because we didn't use cell phones. We didn't assume the cell phones. We used real GPS devices where you need a cell service. It just collects the data from the satellites itself. So it was a very exciting project. So I thought maybe we'll couple this one with my other project where I do Global Kitchen project. So I taught 2nd and 3rd graders not to teach this, eat this, eat that. Instead, we teach them how they can look at the world, what the world eats. And
oh, that's awesome.
It was an amazing experience, again, with the augmented reality, and because we couldn't feed the kids, right? It's not
right.
Out, but there are amazing experiments you can do with the students.
Sure.
That teaches them to be critical, healthy eaters, not necessarily because everybody tells, oh, organic is good, right? But what is good is your budget. You can't afford
Yeah,
the organic food, which might be good or not.
but very expensive.
But yeah, so again, it could be accessible. There are some locations that we worked in Jersey City. The school environment, school lunches, all poor choices. Students cannot make good choices. So
Right.
maybe we can also explore some of those devices, and then have some healthy snacks ourselves. That courtesy of NYIT, MSIT.
Yeah, and I love that, going back to geocaching, how it gets kids out because they don't go outside anymore. So if you can make hiking or walking or a game and something more adventurous. I remember I think it was last year, maybe 2 years ago, the whole Pokemon Go thing, and you'd see people just walking around outside looking for invisible stuff. It's good to see kids, people in general, just outside trying to be healthy. So that's a big thing. Yeah, if we can get this going, I'd love to do that.
All right, we'll wait to hear. All right, Shafak, you're good to go.
Okay, perfect. I'm sorry about that. Let me just share my screen.
Hi, Alyssa.
Okay, so I'm a tech teacher. I teach pre-K to 5th grade. This is my personal portfolio that I've had for a few years now that I have added on to. I started off as a classroom teacher and then ended up teaching technology. So I do have a tech blog. I do have other resources for teachers to look at, as well as my portfolio, which includes a lot of what is in my my online portfolio. Excuse me. I'm still a little sick. I'm sorry. One of my favorites is the digital age learning environments. And that's because I love providing my teachers and my students with tech bites the same way they do when you watch Channel 7 News. It starts off with what it is, my Edge Shelf. This I created after we had discussed it and you had showed me it. And I divided it up into all these different subjects that a lot of the teachers were looking for more resources on. I also have a Symbaloo with digital tools for the teachers in the building that the students already know how to use because I use these with them. So when teachers are assigning projects and they give children a choice, most of my students come to this Symbaloo and they choose from here what they would like to use. Over here is where you would find many of the students' resources. I have the teachers' resources on the side, many of which I had to do professional developments on for my 50 hours. And due to the fact that I was recently put into a 2nd grade class, a lot of my resources ended up being videos of how to use each of the resources that I wanted to share with these teachers. You'll see a lot like SAS curriculum pathways and PBS learning media as teachers are trying to lean more towards not reinventing the wheel. And I really enjoyed Guru. And this video, I had compared Guru to Google and the way that the fact that it's a better search engine for teachers when searching for lesson plans. I do have some on Nearpod, specifics on PBS learning media resources and other student resources that if any of my students have trouble with, they can come onto the website and they can check this out. One of the things that I had added for my students, hold on, I can't see because of the, there we go. So one of the things that I had added on for my students was the, come on. That's not the wrong one. I'm trying to make sure I can see this. Da-da-da. There we go. If we can get this bigger. Okay. Was through my trying to figure out what to use with the students. So this is something that we created as a team. I do have a tech team in the building that I had to ask for. So we get together at least once a month. We try with the administration and we discuss different tools that we've heard about or used and see how it works with some of the different grades that we have in the building. And I just want to make sure I see the other one. Okay, so at my school, although teachers are supposed to call the help desk for any type of technical issue, they always end up calling me. And within the first year, I was losing my mind and I was complaining to the principal that I don't have enough time in the day. You either have to give me an extra period or an extra, prep, or have the teachers call. And so she did end up giving me an extra period, and I worked out this website, which is the EdTech website for my school. They can sign up for support through this button right here, which leads them to a different area. They can go straight for help desk information that I ended up putting in here, which is by calling or on their website. And I put in some simple setup information that they always tell me that it's not working, and I walk in and it's one thing that's unplugged. Here they can also find student tech bites, typing, coding. I do teach coding, and other resources that students can use. I just want to go to one more area. There it is. So with my tech team, this was one of my artifacts. This was a meeting that we had back in October. This is one of the ones that for some reason I could find on my computer. We also have a parent that's on the team. Our parents are very involved, and this parent helps us write our grants. So it takes a little bit of the work off my shoulders. So in October, we discussed different technology that we needed, trying to organize a technology fundraiser. Every single one of our grades does fundraising. So we said, why not the cluster teachers? And so the parent here, you can see she was thinking of maybe a movie night or having parents come in and me choosing select students who have either mastered or are experts at coding to teach the parents how to code, the basics. And we ended up doing a code night for the parents, and they really enjoyed that. They got to see what their kids are doing, and their kids enjoyed teaching their parents for once.
Perfect. Wow, that's a great idea.
I love that one. I really love that one. The students were very engaged. My final resource, which is also listed in my portfolio, is my STEAM/STEM resources. These are the different resources that I like to use when I'm teaching STEAM. This is a fellow teacher. Each of these images, logos, are click-throughs. And this one specifically is through the DOE. And I am currently working on creating a STEAM curriculum in collaboration with classroom teachers. And that's pretty much the hardest thing I could possibly take on at the moment. Creating a technology curriculum was not that hard, connecting it to what they're learning, but STEAM, because it involves so many hands-on activities, trying to figure out what activity matches best, and at the same time trying to make it a thematic unit, that's become real hurdle. Where's the other one? Oh, Thrively. Thrively is also one of my favorites. It works best for 4th and 5th graders. It takes what it basically does is that the students are given a quick assessment on their interests and what they already know, and it provides them with different activities that they can do either online or at home, which is great because it provides them with a different mode of whatever they're learning.
All right, your time is up.
Awesome.
I
One more, but it's okay.
One more? Okay.
No, it's okay. It's fine. I was going to show you the tech blog that I started working on throughout the year for other teachers that I work with and colleagues across the state that I've met. So I just blog about it. They'll email me and ask me questions about it. These are my students using Plickers, Epic, which is a great reading app, and Edpuzzle, which I like to use with my older students, and different resources that teachers can use as well.
Thank you. Thank you so much. You're still healing, right?
Yes, unfortunately, it's not over. I've been sick for about 3 weeks. It's an upper respiratory infection, and I'm not even supposed to be back at work, but for this entire week. But I went back in today because I needed the signature for my hours.
All right.
There's no other way.
All right. I hope you feel better soon. Are you coming to the graduation on Sunday?
I am.
All right.
I definitely am. I'll be there.
Perfect. I can't wait to see you again.
Amazing.
All right. Alyssa, any suggestions, any comments for Shafak?
I thought your portfolio was excellent and very well explained and very detailed. I have no negative comments. It was awesome.
Thank you very much.
It's a great resource.
Thanks.
And when you said something about I go to the classroom and things needs to be plugged in,
Mm-hmm.
I had this similar experience when I was a media director. Once a teacher called me and he says, this video, do you remember those old video cassettes that has the case on top?
Yes.
He was trying to put the whole case into the slot, and he says it doesn't fit in, and it was bad.
Those are the little things that drive me nuts, because when they used to call me, I used to say, did you try unplugging, replugging, checking all the cords? Yeah, I did that. I got so tired of it. And even now with the website, the teachers are still too lazy to go to it. So I have a tech squad of students, and I also have a tech specialist within each classroom. So before they call me, they need to use all those resources.
Good. That's a great idea. All right, Alyssa, are you ready to present next?
Yes.
All
So
right.
I'm also sick.
Oh no.
But I made a screencast, thankfully, so
Oh, that's wonderful.
that'll help me.
Oh, hi, Celinda. Welcome.
Okay.
Hello, sorry I missed the last one. I was on for a little bit yesterday. I'm gonna stop now, so Alyssa.
No problem. No problem. All right. Thank you for joining.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Alyssa Greenwood, and this is my final presentation for the practicum and seminar class for spring 2017. Just to start in with a little bit about myself, I'm a middle school science teacher in Queens. I'm a certified level 2 Google educator. I have a one-to-one classroom, so I have 32 Chromebooks in my classroom for my students, and they all are signed up with Google Apps for Education. I believe in the flipped classroom, which is when I will give them content or videos to watch for homework, so they come in with the knowledge and ready to go in class. I believe in teaching my students collaboration and communication skills, because I believe these are valuable skills that they'll need when they go into college and onto their careers. and I believe in inquiry and problem-based learning. I believe that students learn best by doing and discovering on their own rather than me telling them information. So during my practicum experience, I did have some struggles. My first struggle was working with people of all different skill levels. At one time during one of my PDs, I ran a beginner workshop for Google Classroom with my staff at my school, and I had about 20 staff members in my classroom for the workshop, and they all had different backgrounds and different knowledge bases. So it was a challenge because there were so many different questions going on all at the same time, but I did learn to have more patience, which was my other struggle, and to work with them and to understand that not everyone has the skills that I have and that it is normal for people not to know how to use technology. Okay, some successes that I found out that I had this semester. I became more confident as a leader. Usually I'm a very shy person. I dread public speaking usually. But during this class, I forced myself outside my comfort zone, and I became more confident at public speaking. I interacted with various staff members who I normally would not have the chance to work with. My school has over 100 teachers, and there's no way I could work with all of them. But during this opportunity to give PDs for my staff, I actually got to work and get to know more of the staff. I created materials that I could use and build upon for future professional developments that I'll give for the staff. So those were some really great successes. And now I'll just go over my portfolio with you. So I use Weebly to create my portfolio. I included my resume. And I'm just gonna go through 3 artifacts today. So the first standard I'll go over is standard 2. Standard 2 is teaching, learning, and assessment. So 2D was a coding PD that I created. Standard 2D says that you will coach teachers in and model design and implementation of technology-enhanced learning experiences, emphasizing creativity, higher order thinking skills, and processes and mental habits of mind, such as critical thinking, metacognition, and self-regulation. Okay, so coding, I believe, is all about critical thinking and metacognition, higher order thinking skills, so this fits 2D perfectly. This was a PD I created about the program Codesters, which is a coding program that teaches students how to use the coding language Python. So I start off with a do now. I go into a study on why to teach coding. Okay, just some statistics. Okay, I go on to teach why we should teach coding, that all jobs are technology jobs really, because no matter what field you are in, you're going to use technology in some form. So everything has coding behind it. They're learning computational thinking skills, which is a new literacy. And it will contribute to their understanding of the world around us, also for equity and access. Okay, not every student has access to learn coding. So by including coding in middle school curriculum, we give more opportunity for our students. Okay, I go on to discuss how Codesters uses a UDL approach. The structure of the lesson in Codesters begins with an example of what they'll be learning. A do now, they'll begin to build a project. They'll do a debugging activity, which is a check for understanding. And then they can finish in 3 different ways. First, they can just finish the project and complete an exit ticket. Or they can customize the project, which is the extension. Or they can even go on to further create their own project using the concepts from the lesson. And I also included a link to the rubric used to assess these projects. So then I just go on to show teachers how to create Codesters account using screenshots. It's very simple. I included some videos on how to use CodeStars. And then I had the teachers complete their first lesson and then share out their projects. Then I had teachers meet in their teacher teams to design a plan on how they will implement coding in their classroom. And then an exit ticket. Okay, my other artifact for standard 2 is 2F. And standard 2F says coach teachers in a model incorporation of research-based practices, research-based best practices in instructional design when planning technology-enhanced learning experiences. So I just went through different types of assessments and why we should use assessments with our students. Okay, so I went on to go over why we should assess, how we can use the data from assessments in our teaching. Different types of assessments, standardized assessments, formative or summative assessments. Formative occurs during learning. It just focuses on the learning process and it helps us to identify the strengths and weaknesses, while summative assessments happen after learning and it's used more like for a grade. I went in to discuss performance-based assessments. It's an alternative form of assessment where students will create a project to show that they have learned the concepts in class. I also discussed how important classroom culture is. We need to create a culture in our classroom where students feel comfortable to make a mistake and that they know it's okay and it's part of the learning process. And that they're a very important part of our classroom community. Okay, and then I had an exit ticket, which was a needs assessment at the end. And then the final artifact that I'll show you today is 3C. Standard 3 is digital age learning environment. 3C says coach teachers in and model use of online and blended learning, digital content, and collaborative learning networks to support and extend student learning, as well as expand opportunities and choices for online professional development for teachers and administrators. So this is a professional development that I created about Google Classroom. Here's the learning outcomes, the agenda. I had a do now that was just asking the background of the teachers in terms of using social media in the classroom. Okay, what are Google Apps for Education? I just go on to tell teachers that the collaborative skills, it saves your work automatically so you can access it anywhere that you have an internet connection. Now it's called G Suite, not Google Apps, but that's another story. I go on to describe the different apps. I have the teachers log into their school accounts that they have at our school. Go to Google Classroom and sign up as a teacher. I have them create a class by clicking the little plus sign. They name their class. They can sign up their students by giving them the class code. And then I show the teachers how to create their first announcement or their first post on their classroom stream. I go over the different types of posts and why and when to use them. Questions are great for short response. And students can comment on each other's work. This is good for questioning and discussion. You can also poll students by asking multiple choice questions. Assignments really have endless possibilities. You can design collaborative projects where students will work on a shared document. You can attach a document and have students answer directly onto it like a virtual worksheet. You can post videos or have images for students to analyze, post any PDF or document that you'd normally make photocopies of, or use Google Forms as a form of assessment. Okay, announcements are good for reminders, posting slideshows, documents, other resources. Okay, then go on to teach the teachers how to create Google Forms to make a quiz. I just told them the settings that they need to make the quiz. and then also how to create a virtual worksheet by making a Google Doc and typing in questions. I also showed them how to attach their worksheets in the assignment. And then I put samples of student work for questioning and discussion that I use in my classroom. I have students comment on each other's work that they've completed. Okay, so the work period for this PD was for the staff to team up with another staff member to create assignments where students will comment on each other's work and provide feedback. And then they share it out with the group. And then there was an exit ticket at the end, which was a Google form, a glow and grow. And that was the end of the workshop. Anyways, this is my portfolio, and thank you for watching.
Thank you for presenting.
Okay.
Good screencast.
Thank you.
All right, any feedback from Celinda or Shafat?
I think it was great. I really liked that you said stuff about yourself at the beginning of it. I think that's a good thing to have on there. And I think it's good that you have I always think it's good that when teachers in PDs actually work with the things that they were just taught on, because I feel like otherwise they just forget about it. They don't really see the true value in it. So I think that's good too.
I also like that part where teachers have to do to actually use the resource. I do that in my PDs as well. But one thing that I really enjoyed was your presentation on Codesters, definitely, because I do teach coding. Codester is not one that I use. It's a bit advanced that I'm thinking of using in the coming years for my 5th graders, because I just started teaching them coding this year.
Great, thank you.
Yes, we all need to learn from your coding experience. Maybe you should create a coding class for MSIT students who are coming into the program. So now that you know how to do good screencasting, right? You could do step by step. That's awesome. Have you ever used Canvas? Actually, Canvas allows you to create online modules like the MOOCs that you can do it on your own. Like you can have all these videos, people complete tasks, and not only you can use it for your own students, but also you can send the link to us, so we'll all attend your class.
Yeah, I've never heard of that, but I'll check it out.
It's called Canvas. It's like Blackboard, but I think it's a bit more user-friendly. My son's school is using it right now. It's a good LMS tool, learning management system.
Cool.
All right, thank you. And
thank you.
Back to that, get us to Celinda's presentation. Celinda, are you ready?
Yeah. All right, let me share screen. Whoa, what happened? What do you guys see? I'm just seeing, oh, I guess I have to pick my thing. Okay. Do you see my niece and my nephew? Okay. So let me go here and let me move this over. Does this move over? No, it doesn't. Okay. I have this. So this is like at mine, you guys put mine to shame, by the way. I didn't do like a whole thing. I'm really thinking about just doing a Weebly like in the time from now to my summer class. But I just did a quick slide. So this is the presentation. And here, if you click on this link, you'll see like the TaskStream portfolio. I think I already put it up. And it's, nothing fancy. It's just like you'll see all the different things here as you go through them. So just wanted to show you that since everybody was showing theirs and the ones that I saw. The next thing here is this is a PD that I created. So this would go with, I believe, 4 it is. And oops, my bad. And it's called Tech Bites in the Classroom. I wish I would have went to present because it would have made this much easier. Let me just. So this is the Tech Bites in a Classroom PD. And so here it's a PD where I've just I presented on a bunch of different Tech Bites, as they were called at the time. I used something called Voki. Voki is this really cool thing where you can kind of create your own digital character. I introduced Padlet, ThingLink, and S'more. So we just talk about it and then discuss it. And since it was from my school, I talked about how these specific tools fit into our mission statement and our vision statement. And then I'm just letting them know, today I'll show you different Tech Bites that will help us with the highlighted portions of the school mission and vision statements. Infusing our lessons with technology can help our school and students in many ways. How do you think? So then we just talk about how technology can help us. And these are the expected outcomes. So Padlet would improve classroom discussion. Tech Bites such as Voki and S'mores can improve character analysis. I should have said that before this. Sorry, I'm an English teacher, so a lot of my stuff kind of revolves around English things. I just took the MST2 class, and it's become easier for me to kind of not be so English-centered, but still a lot of my stuff is English-centered. And then we talk about the summative and formative assessments and how it can, be helpful for those things. So here, if you click on each of these, you can click on them and you'll see like samples. So let's see if this still works. So I show them samples. So here's the sample Voki.
Hi, my name is Celinda. I am currently a high school English teacher in Brooklyn. I taught middle school before this. I'm much happier where I am now, so I decided to finally start my master's. I chose this program because I felt that it was
Yeah, so Voki I created, it's supposed to be me. I actually did it for this program for another class. The professor had us introduce ourselves using Voki. So I always liked it, and I think it's a great idea for students to be able to create characters from the books that we read and things like that. They can use that. This is ThingLink. I actually have a sample of that on another one and a sample Padlet on the next slide as well. And then here's a sample S'more. And as you can see, after each sample that I show them, I have them discuss how they think they can use these tools in their classroom. So this is a sample S'more. And these are just like draft lessons that I have on here. And I would go through it with them. And then they talk about how they can use, not Padlet, excuse me, how they can use S'more in their classrooms and how it can help them. So that's just a sample that I show them. This is, okay, so once the samples are shared, they come up with examples. So as you see here, it says share teacher samples, and then there's discussion. Then we can, well, actually for the next PD, I'm sorry, I didn't realize, did I skip a slide? Okay, so that ends that, right? And then the next one, because the way my PD works, at least the way it worked for me, my school has Monday PD time, but it's only like an hour long. So I can't do like tons and tons. So that's how these things were like made. So on the next one, we share teacher samples, we discuss, and we review samples of student Tech Bites, meaning how they use it in their classroom, and we see how it went. Writing from before and after the implementation of each Tech Bite, or one, I can't force teachers to do this stuff. And then maybe some other ways that they come up, and I just say it's remember to have fun and be creative. And these are just like explanations for the thing, for the PD. Let me go back to, so here's Padlet, something else that I've used a lot. And I'm just showing you guys some examples of things that we've done. So here's one example where the students are, it's like they're having a discussion on here, like on actual Padlet instead of in the classroom. So here's one example of that. And there's different ways that you can format this. I also have a tutorial on Padlet that I created as well that I've showed them. And here's another way you can do it. Like if you want to, you know, be more organized, like more up and down instead of all over the place. And then ThingLink, here's my sample for that. This is something that I've told them about for that, so that students can have other ways to present their, instead of like having to bring in a poster board or, you know, anything like that, they can have a virtual presentation. And here's the sample that I use. So again, I'm an English teacher. So this is an example on characterization, and I use something called STEAL. This is how authors characterize the characters. So S is say, T is thoughts, E is effects on others, A is how they act, and L is how they look. So if you look, you put these links on here, and when you scroll over it, you see it'll tell you about it. So instead of them having to do this on pen and paper or on a board or anything like that, they can just do it on here. And this is my example. I guess this isn't working anymore, of STEAL. And then one big surprise that I had, not really in this class, but throughout the program that I've actually used every now and then, was PowerPoint. I was not aware of all the things that you can really do with PowerPoint. And I have this link here, but it doesn't show the same, like if I go to Dropbox. So I'm going to try to run it on my computer so that you can see how like an interactive program can be on here. Oh no, it didn't just pop up. I wonder if it's because I'm on sharing. No.
Without sharing, get back on.
Okay.
First, open up the PowerPoint. My friend just came in from work, and she made me some Turkish tea.
Oh, that would feel so great for your throat.
I know. I'm drinking just for you, my dear.
Thank you. Çok teşekkürler.
It is very hot though. And I like it light as well, very light, because I need to go to sleep tonight. I'm almost done with my grading, not the testing, but online grading. I hope today is the day. All right, how's it working?
It opened, but now I'm trying to see how I can get back on screen share.
Okay.
All right. Let me see how this is up here. Okay.
Well, it worked.
So when you first open this, like the things flip around and there's a sound. I don't know if you heard the weird sounds to kind of grab their attention. So if you go, like, you can click on these things and you go here. This is like Life on the Reservation. And you can do like a whole program, you know, on here. And like you see how here it says, click here to listen to some quotes about this. Is it gonna go?
I had stood in this camp with a mechanic from Washington, a friendly, jovial man who marveled at the seeming lack of rules here. Basically, he said.
So there's this, and you can like, it just does so much. I'm trying to get to the quiz. So you see how things are popping up and running across the screen, and here it's click here for video that shows the living conditions, right? So that'll bring up the video. This is showing the living conditions on Indian reservations. Let me try to stop this other noise. Get back. Okay. And at the, you see more things moving, and here there's they can click on all these different things.
When Indian reservations were first created.
Yeah, as soon as you get into that, after the animation, it starts talking. I'm not going through the whole program. I'm just showing you things
this is
that it
where
can do.
you will see
And here I have a quiz. They're quizzed on like things. So mostly on the you just, answer. It'll tell you if you're right, if you're wrong. And I was just very surprised by that because I was unaware that PowerPoint had so much, like that you can do so much with it. So that was one big surprise that I had throughout this program. One of the struggles that I would say, hold on, I'm trying to get back to the presentation. I have way too many things open. This one, is it this one? There we go. So one of the major struggles that I've had throughout this class and this program in general is like, everybody's like, yay, technology is great. Technology is everywhere. We definitely need to be using it in our classrooms. We have to do it. Oh, but wait, we have one laptop cart for the entire English department, which consists of 25 teachers. And what is it called? The computer lab is rented out third and fourth period for the whole semester. Like some teacher got slick about it and just rented it out for the whole semester. And it's just, that was and continues, and I believe will continue to be my major struggle as a teacher, and as a teacher that really does want to advocate for technology and do so much for it, but I can't get my hands on it. And even when I do, it's like so much of it has to be done in class because they don't have it at home. They might have a computer, but they don't have the internet, or their computer doesn't work, or something is wrong. I personally work in a Title I school, so a lot of my kids just don't have a lot of the resources that, I have here. Like, yeah, I have internet. Yeah, I have a laptop, things that, you would think most people have. But I guess a part of me, maybe I have a soft spot for that, and I can really relate to that because I didn't have anything growing up. Like, I didn't have my own computer until I was in college. My mom couldn't buy me one. And, so I can see, and I know it's hard to get to a friend's house to print something and go here, to do these things. So it's definitely a really, like, the biggest struggle that I have been through. But I'm hoping that things get better and internet pricing for homes go down. Let's see.
So Linda, I want to let you know, New York City Public Library, they have free internet as long as the parents have children in a public school. They just have to prove that. That's it. And you can pretty much get a letter from the school for that. And they can hold on to the little Wi-Fi box at home for an entire year.
Really?
So please,
wow,
please.
I did not know that. Thank you so much.
No problem.
So they just have to go to
a public library and see if they can ask the librarian how they can sign up for it.
That's awesome.
It is amazing. And there's also something
extra point, Shafak.
There's also something for, since you're an English teacher, it's called My Library NYC. And you can go on and you have your own account. You can borrow out class sets of books. Okay. And if they get lost, stolen, whatever it is, they will not charge you for it. They mail it to your school. I work at an elementary, so and I did see your interactive on the absolute diary of a part-time Indian, because I guess I took the course after you, and that was one of the examples she provided for us, and that like really helped me understand what she was trying to get us to do.
I'm so happy she shared that with you. I felt like mine was really crappy. Like when I saw what some of my classmates did, I was like, oh my God, if you have the patience and you can do some really amazing things with PowerPoint.
It's true. I was shocked myself, but I also like that on your PD, you connected it to your school's mission and vision statement. I think that's going to be my next step with my team, so that I can really get my principal and administration to understand that we need some of these things.
Yeah, well, my quality review is on Thursday and Friday. So, we're all about the vision and mission statement right now.
I got my quality review the day after Christmas, New Year break.
Oh, that's nuts.
Yeah. But thank you for your help throughout other courses.
Well, thank you for I can't believe I didn't know about the library internet thing. That's like amazing.
It's brand new. It just came out. And the My Library one, I just got a whole set of nonfiction books for my students.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
No problem.
Lovely. That's lovely. All right, Brittany, are you getting ready? You're next.
Yes, I'm ready.
All right, let's get you the next 15 minutes. Go.
All right.
Oh, take off your screen share, please, Celinda.
Oh my God, I'm sorry. Oh, I can't do it now. Okay, here we go. Video? Did it stop?
All right. Oh, wait.
Stop share.
Okay.
Thank you. Perfect.
Okay. Can you see me now?
I can see it.
Yes. Okay, perfect. Okay. So a semester in review, my portfolio. So I just kind of gave some background information on myself. I currently teach 5th grade mathematics within the enlarged city school district of Middletown. It's in Orange County. It's about 2 hours north of the city. Thankfully, my district was one of 16 districts in the nation a few years ago to win a Race to the Top district grant. So they invested all that money into technology. So we are very technology rich, which is awesome. My students have one-to-one Chromebook use. And it's a Title I school too. So it's really amazing that our students who really have poor, lives at home are able to immerse themselves in technology each day when they come to school. So specifically, I think my strengths in terms of instructional technology would be the Google Apps for Education. It's something that we use each and every day, and my students use each and every day. Multimedia presentation tools such as Prezi, S'more, and then content resources for mathematics instruction because we are departmentalized even at the elementary level. So since I only teach math and we don't have a specific curriculum, we have to pull our own resources off of the internet. So I've become very skilled and equipped at quickly finding good, rigorous material to use for my mathematics instruction. So my portfolio, it's collection of artifacts that I've created over the course of my graduate studies. So I the and then a link also to a Google Doc that's kind of more condensed. It's just the actual artifacts. So those are included. And I just kind of focus on three highlights from my portfolio. So the first one was a multimedia literacy for struggling readers project. So essentially,
We have some choppy sounds. Is that
I'm sorry, what?
The sound is becoming choppy.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know. I'm not moving.
Do you mind sending us the link to the Google Doc? Because sometimes when you share, it consumes the bandwidth, or you can close some of your tabs. Okay, let's test again.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Oh yeah, it's much better. Thank you.
Okay, good. So anyway, I really enjoyed creating this project. It led me to use PlayPosit, which is one of the options that my district uses for a flipped classroom. The flipped classroom is an initiative in the secondary level, but it allowed me kind of to play around with it, and I think that I might start to use it with my own students at the elementary level. So the whole point of the project was
to help struggling readers. So what I did was I took a story off of YouTube that was being read aloud, and I embedded it into the Play Pause video, and then I included formative assessment questions throughout, so that way they could, you know, read the story at their own pace, go back and, you know, look for evidence in the text as needed, and then as the teacher, you're getting immediate feedback from them. So I thought that was a really cool project. The second project that I highlighted within my portfolio was the digital storytelling project. And it was actually the same course that I created this project. I had to create basically to bring to life, I guess, a controversial issue. So I focused on the biography of Frida Kahlo, who was a controversial artist because she was, you know, possibly like a lesbian and transgender, and so I brought her story to life using the tool WeVideo, and it's basically a digital story. So digital storytelling can be used to support students with special needs, with ENL students, students from low socioeconomic status, because it essentially just provides them with another way to express their knowledge and their understanding and convey their stories or the stories of someone else. And the third highlight that I took from my portfolio was a professional development that I completed last semester, and it was about 10 marks. So my district, since we are really big into technology, one of the initiatives we have is called the Blended Learning Initiative, and that's in grades K-6. So the students need to be on a digital content provider in both ELA and math for at least 30 minutes. And one of those digital content providers is 10 marks. But unfortunately, the training that you get is only 3 days long, so it's really not sufficient to be able to effectively, you know, implement blended learning into the classroom. And a lot of times the teachers come in the middle of the year, then they don't receive the training. So I focused on how 10 marks, which is one of our digital content providers, can be used to differentiate your instruction and support blended learning. And it was really successful, especially since 10 marks has changed since our initial blended learning launch. It's been updated and things like that. So I was able to show my fellow colleagues how to look at all the different reports and things like that. So then I talked about my fieldwork experience this semester. Overall, it was a very rewarding experience. And I think I learned as much about myself as a technology leader, and certainly gained confidence as a technology leader, as I did about the participants that I worked with. So since my district is very large, and so there's buildings that start at different times and things like that, I was really only able to complete the majority of my field work with my fellow grade level colleagues. But I think the greatest experience within my field work was being able to teach my own professional development course through my district's teacher center. And through that, I was able to collaborate with teachers at the middle school as well. And my course focused on how tools such as Prezi, SMORE, and BlendSpace can be used to support project-based learning and the development of higher order thinking skills in the classroom. So in a little bit more detail, like I just mentioned, I taught a professional development course. So it was 3 courses, each one focused on BlendSpace, one focused on SMORE, and then one focused on Prezi. We talked about what project-based learning is, how these can support higher order thinking skills, and then I showed them some examples that my students did. So for example, I have a SMORE Educator account, which is cool because it allows you to create classrooms, and then your students can sign up to it, and then they can make their own flyers, and then you can automatically see it and comment it on whatever. So we recently were talking about Arbor Day, so I had my students do some research on Arbor Day, and more to describe like what Arbor Day is and to teach others, you know, their peers or just people in the community about what Arbor Day is. That I showed at professional development, and more often because I was to incorporate different types of multimedia. You can incorporate images or videos or things like that. And then I also talked about Prezi as well. So again, now the cool part of it being this point in the school year, since I've already had my students using these tools all year long, now I can provide them with choice about how they want to, show their understanding on a particular project. So some of my students did Prezi as well. So this was one of the presentations that the way that they were interactive, you could include videos and images, kind of. It was a multimedia presentation tool. So they thought that that was really cool and something that their students would be certainly engaged by. For my second fieldwork experience, I have claiming time at grade level. So twice a week I met with my fellow fifth grade colleagues, some in ELA and then some in math. And we talked about tools that could be incorporated into instruction. So some were just, specific to ELA, some were specific just to math. I talked about some tools like formative assessment tools that they could use. And then I also mentored a teacher on the use of GoGuardian. And GoGuardian was a program that our school district acquired this year, but it was kind of like secretive and didn't really tell anybody that they got it. So I was just happened to come across it one day and kind of started playing around with it and found it to be really effective. What it is essentially is that you can manage students' Chromebooks. So I basically worked with a teacher and showed her what it looks like for my practices and teachers to have your classrooms, and then if you click on a classroom, you can determine, you can set what time your class will be over, and then you click start session, and basically what would happen, obviously it's not going to happen right now, but you would have a picture of each student's screen, and then you can type messages to the students, or you can freeze their screens, or you can X out a tab that they have open. So it's just a really great way to, I think, enhance your classroom management, because in my district, we are finding that Chromebooks, they were on sites that they didn't be on, or they were playing games or things like that. So even though they're supposed to be on a Chromebook working on a content provider, they were missing that instructional time because they were searching the internet. And it's difficult to manage, 30 students' Chromebooks, what they're doing when you're working with a small group. So she found that to be very helpful. I also met with a great teacher on the use of iReady, which is another digital content provider, and a plethora of you can use for blended learning. So we talked about those and how to use those to make small groups and kind of connect your teaching to blended learning. So oftentimes I think that there's a disconnect in my district because students are kind of just on the content provider of Chromebook, but teachers don't often have time to actually look to see the work that they're doing because they're so worried about the curriculum that they're teaching. But the blended learning is designed to kind of fill in those skill gaps that they have. So it's important to look at what they're doing and then, support them to fill in the skill gaps.
And then lastly, one of the teachers at my grade level was on maternity leave, so a leave replacement came in, and this, was her first teaching experience, and I think she was really kind of shell-shocked when she came to our district, just because I think the way that we operate, I know, is very different from surrounding districts. So we don't have specific curriculum that we need to follow. We don't have like a textbook or a workbook or anything like that. We essentially just have a scope and sequence, and we're told that you need to come up with all of your own materials. And within that, though, there's certain like activities and things like that that you need to do. So it's very confusing. It can be very overwhelming, especially for somebody just coming in. So I met with her one-on-one, and we some of the instructional resources that I use, like digital resources. So one of them I mentioned, which is sponsored by the National Council of Teachers in Mathematics. And you can search by grade level, you can search by the mathematical domain, Common Core standards, and then it'll give you a list of lessons, and the lessons come equipped with everything you need. So with like assessment options, differentiation options, all that kind of good stuff. Another one is illustrative mathematics. So you can search by grade level, and then it breaks everything down by domains. And domains you can look at, and then they're associated to each standard. So, and the great thing about this website and even the NCTM, the lessons and activities that are on these websites all promote higher order thinking skills and collaboration, and they're rigorous. So she was very thankful that I showed her those, and I followed up with her, and the students reported that they were, more engaged because they got to work in groups, and they often got to use manipulatives because a lot of the lessons call for that as well. So overall, I think the positives of the fieldwork experience was that it allowed me to work with, teachers at a variety of grade levels and subject areas. I got to work with some ELA teachers. I got to work with some teachers at the middle school. I did use needs assessments to provide targeted and meaningful professional development. Since we are Google-based, I did everything via Google Forms. So I would send out a Google Forms to the participants prior to the professional development session and then after to figure out like how I could best support them in the future. And following professional development, participants reported positive results. So again, I got all this information from the Google Forms. So a lot of times they reported higher student engagement, that the digital resources that I showed them allow for more differentiation within the classroom. And it also, they said that it supported the needs of like diverse student populations. Specifically, we have like a really large population of ENL students in our district. But overall, I think the most positive thing of the fieldwork was that it provided me with greater confidence as a technology leader. And I think it kind of helped me be recognized as that too within my district. So that was nice. However, the challenge is that there's just never enough time. I think it was difficult to find time to provide professional development due to people's like schedules during the day and after school responsibilities. Like I also coached Girls on the Run, and I also taught after school program, and other people were involved in different things, so it was really difficult to kind of meet up. And it's difficult to follow up with participants after the professional development too, to provide them with continued support. Like a lot of times teachers would ask me to come into their classrooms, but I mean I teach full-time too, and it's like I can't, we don't have enough coverage for me to leave my classroom and then, go help them kind of thing. So I think time is just going to be a constant issue. And also I think it's difficult to overcome a negative mindset. And yes, there was some negative mindset about technology, but I think just like in general, we do work with a very difficult student population. There can be a lot of behavior issues, and we have really large class sizes and whatever. And So oftentimes I would like find myself talking about, oh, like my students, you know, like they love this, they love using Prezi, they love using S'more, and like I would get the response like, I don't think my students can handle it, like they can't stay on task that long, kind of thing. So I think it's just encouraging colleagues to, you know, just try it, like see where it takes you. Like you might be surprised at how students respond to the technology because it is something new and oftentimes they are more engaged than you might necessarily think.
Thank you, Brittany. You're over time. I'm sorry
Okay.
about you, but this is amazing. And there's the teeth, right? You must never cease to learn.
Yes, that's my mantra.
I love it. I love it. And I appreciate your comments. And you had one question from the floor. Celinda asks about the name of it's 10 marks, right?
I got 10 marks, but then the sound was like in and out, and I couldn't
Okay.
get the blended learning tool that you were talking
We
about.
use 10 marks and then we use iReady as well.
iReady?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much. That concludes for tonight's session. And if you have any comments, Shafak or Celinda, to give back to Brittany.
I like that you're able to present to your district at the district offices. That's something that is hard to do here in Brooklyn.
Yeah, actually, I mean, I got really lucky. Since we are departmentalized, we have partners. So my teaching partner is actually the director of the teacher center. So when I told her I should do these hours, she's like, oh my gosh, I should teach class. I don't think that would happen otherwise, but it was a really awesome opportunity.
You can turn off your screen share.
Okay.
Perfect. Now we can see you instead of a dark screen. All right. Thank you so much again. I'm just going to post to remind everyone about the deadline. 19, please post all your leftover uploads by that time. And Celinda, I think I graded most of the work you have done. And Shafak, I think you guys both finished. I think Brittany, you have only a few things left to upload as I see it. So if you have any questions, you know my number, you know my email, and and you're welcome to come and join us tomorrow's sessions as well. We have plenty of presenters for tomorrow. And other than that, you're free to go and enjoy the evening.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Have a good night.
On Sunday.
Yes, I can't wait to see you if you're graduating and attending graduation. Yes, please come.